What's up guys, Elfis here, and today we're going to be doing another HoN versus. This time we're pitting Arachna versus Soulstealer mid, 1v1, and I'm going to tell you who's going to win, why they're going to win, and what the loser should be doing, alright? Let's jump into this, guys. Okay, so first of all, who would win? Well, who would win is a kind of a tough question to answer. The somewhat obvious answer is Arachna would win. And Arachna would win only in the first couple levels, and only in the first couple levels, and then only if her ult is up. So Arachna will win this fight because Arachna is one of the heroes that goes mid that has near unbeatable harass in many aspects of it. She can outrange, well, not necessarily outrange, but keep up with range in almost all ranged heroes, on top of the fact that her webbed shot, here I'll go ahead and highlight it, is one of the most amazing skills in the game for harassment. They cannot get away. They are, almost guaranteed to take a couple hits before, they essentially can convince you to back off, or the creeps convince you to back off, or something like that. And then on top of that, it does a bit more magic damage, but the slow is really what makes it so invaluable. Now, how does that help her win? Well, first of all, not only is Arachna's normal attack damage much higher, we'll look, keep an eye down here, Soulstealer versus Arachna, much higher than Arachna's, but on top of that, Arachna has bonus damage from the web shot, and Soulstealer can't really get away. So, in a 1v1 right there, the creeps, obviously if Soulstealer has a whole wave of creeps, that would be a different story, but I'm going to go ahead and ignore that possibility. In a 1v1, Arachna would win early on. Now, what Soulstealer can do is, Soulstealer is a very, 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 very good hero at bouncing back, because he is one of the few heroes that has an incredible nuke, easily spammable, doesn't cost a crazy amount of damage, and is an AoE. So, unlike Pyromancer, who's his stun has kind of a longer cooldown, not necessarily easily spammable, things like that, Soulstealer can spam 3 hands like it was nobody's business, and then keep going about his day, and nobody worries about it. Soulstealer can bounce back because of this. Now, he will lose the lane early on. He may be able to come back using the hands, and I mean, by come back, I'm referring to killing Arachna, winning fights against Arachna. However, Arachna would already have a fairly significant advantage over him in the fact that she would have probably more levels, probably more gold, and on top of that, if she has her ultimate up, the hands, assuming she's not running around like an idiot and tanking all 3 hands for no reason, probably wouldn't be enough to kill her, whereas Soulstealer's Arachna's ultimate would be most certainly enough to kill Soulstealer. So that's something to think about. So Soulstealer can maybe come back, however, it would take a bit of luck and a bit of misplay by Arachna. Now, he's going to be losing the lane, okay? So what should he be doing? Alright, we've talked about why he's going to lose, we've talked about who's going to win. What's he going to be doing? Well, Soulstealer, not sure if any of you know this, Soulstealer is actually one of the worst gankers in the game, in the sense that he doesn't have any blinks, he's not very good at he doesn't have a particularly high mobility, he's not particularly strong at ganking, considering his early damage is a bit, I don't want to say chance, but it is a bit chanced, because he can't necessarily hit 3 demon hands on someone all the time. So, and on top of that, his ultimate, if they notice you and move away, and it's not always the best. What he can do is he can go for runes, while Arachna, he needs to try and fight for runes, okay, but he should not fight Arachna for them. I misspoke there. He shouldn't fight for runes. He needs to try and get runes, but he should not fight Arachna for the runes. He should simply try and acquire the runes, and if he can't, he can't. Early on, and he should have an advantage over Arachna going for runes, because he should be able to pay almost exact attention the second it hits every 2-minute mark. He can look and go, assuming he has a ward. Arachna may be mid last hit or things like that. Of course, it does depend a bit on skill level too, so don't think it's totally, he has an advantage. And then the other thing he can do, if he gets runes, he can gank, of course. Anybody with a good rune can gank, really. Almost every single hero in the game. Really? You can see up the fog like that? That's kind of funny. Almost every single hero in the game can gank with an amazing rune, if not every single hero. So, with runes, he can gank. When he cannot get a good rune, though, what he should be doing is farming the jungle, assuming he doesn't have a jungler, okay? If he has a jungler, you don't necessarily want to fight your jungler for it. However, your jungler should probably back off and go gank a bit and let you farm up a bit, because you're going to need it more than he will, most likely. So there may be some that could use it early on more than you, but in general, that's not the case. But so you're going to want to get farm from the jungle. You're going to want to stack camps, because the demon hands are what you're going to be using to farm. Demon hands, like I was saying, easily spammable, easily used to farm creeps, as well as do damage, but mostly farm creeps, I think. And you can use them in the lane as well. Just make sure you're not getting too close to tank and Arachna ult or something along those lines. Other than that, just make sure that you're stacking the camps when you're killing them, or using demon hands to their efficiency. You know what I mean? You want to try and be able to get as many kills as you can, with your demon hands, especially considering you're behind. So you don't want to be even further behind. So just something to think about. Other than that, though, gank when you can, and do not fight Arachna solo unless you absolutely have to. If she's got her ultimate on you already and she's hitting you with some slows, blast your demon hands, blast an ultimate, try and get work done before you die. Maybe you could get lucky, or your team could show up and back you up and pick up the kill, but do not try and fight her solo, because it will not end well, I guarantee you that. Arachna will, in almost every single case, dominate a Soulstealer 1v1 early on without items. When you get items, obviously Soulstealer becomes a whole different ballpark in that case. But before you get items, you don't want to fight her unless you absolutely have to, and you shouldn't have any items early on anyways, especially if you're losing. So just some stuff to think about. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions as to, maybe I wasn't clear on something, or maybe, you have a certain scenario you want clarified, perhaps, you get this rune, and should you fight her, should you not fight her, things like that, or should you gank, or should you try and kill her, what should you do, things to think about. Feel free to post in the comments, feel free to inbox me, whatever you feel comfortable with, and I will be sure to get to respond as soon as possible. Well, whenever I get to it, I guess. Feel free to keep recommending what you guys want to see, which heroes you want to see, 1v1 versus each other in mid, and I will get to those as well as soon as I can. So, thank you guys for watching once again. I hope you enjoyed it, hope it was helpful, and I will see you guys later, alright? GG, well played, guys. Elfis out.